Lots of times people want to hear a dietitian's review of certain diets. So like, well, what do you think of this one? Or this one seems better than that one. And so on TikTok, I do quite a few different diet reviews of some of the more common ones out there. Let's take a look.
What I ate today on Weight Watchers green. I started my day with a peach protein shake.
A lot of people have asked me what I think about Weight Watchers, and this video is a perfect example. Now, let me just say, I am not criticizing this girl at all. I am criticizing Weight Watchers. This girl is simply just following the Weight Watchers plan, but she's eating 1,200 calories a day because that's what Weight Watchers is recommending to her. Weight Watchers is just a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? So all of these fad diets out there, Weight Watchers, Noom, Optavia, fill in the blank, all the ones that I've talked about are doing exactly that. They are getting you to use their fuelings or their tactic to underfuel you so that you'll lose weight quickly. Remember, they work in the beginning, but they don't work long-term. Don't fall for it. Here's my thoughts on Beachbody nutrition as a registered dietitian. So first and foremost, let's just call a spade a spade. Beachbody is an MLM. One thing that's actually really, really frustrating about trying to learn about some of these programs is they keep everything so under wraps. They give you very vague terminology about how a program works. And so it's really hard to figure out what is actually going on in the program. Now, I understand part of that is marketing to get you to buy it, but at the same time, they should give you more information about the details of the program without making you spend $200 with a subscription or whatever just to get the details. Anyways, the first one is 2B mindset, right? So this one is the least concerning of the three. It's run by this woman, and her big thing is that you should focus on plate, which means you should have 50% of your plate with vegetables, 25% protein, etc., which all in all doesn't sound terrible until she says the more water, the more weight loss. She encourages people to drink 16 to 30 ounces of water before every meal to basically help suppress appetite, which makes me think that this is really restrictive. But again, this one was the least concerning of the three. And then, of course, we have our little famous portion containers, right? Now, their program is not necessarily just the 21-day fix. They now have one that's kind of indefinite, but it's the same thing, right? You get a certain number of containers that you're allowed to eat for a day. If you eat all of your containers, you're done. What I hate about this is what I hate about most of the programs like this. It is super restrictive. When I put in my information, it told me I should be eating 1,100 calories a day, but then there was a little caveat that said if it calculated below 1,200, then just use the portions for the 1,200 calorie bracket. So super crazy low. My other complaint with this is what am I supposed to do? Carry around these portion sizes when I go out and do social things? It also, with the green containers with their vegetables, based on what it recommended for me with that 1,200, I would have gotten rid of all of my vegetables in just one entree salad. So you're telling me if I ate a salad for lunch, I then can't have any other vegetables throughout the day? Just so many concerns. Inherently, it's promoting low carb. Immediately no, super restrictive. And then we have the worst of the three, the ultimate reset. It's a detox and a cleanse that's supposed to restart your body. That's a lie. Remember, I said it once, I've said it again. You do not have to do a detox or a cleanse or anything to reset your body. That is a marketing scam trying to get you to buy certain supplements and products. You don't have to do it. So for the low price of $200, you can do this 21-day reset where you have all these powders to mineralize your body and stupid, don't do it. It also has you eliminate all meat, dairy, and all of this other stuff. The first phase, the second phase, you poop your brains out. The third phase, you restore. Don't fall for it. It's a huge scam. Ugh. I've been asked a lot lately about Optavia. The answer is no. Problem number one, they feed you their own food that they call Optavia fuelings. That's an issue because they're not teaching you how to actually fuel your body. They're making you dependent on their program. Problem number two is they starve you. They feed people an average of 800 to 1,000 calories. So of course, they're gonna lose some weight at first, but what happens? You come off of the program, you gain all of the weight back and then some, which again, makes you dependent on that program, AKA a fad diet that is not gonna be sustainable long-term. Problem number three, they have coaches on staff that help you, which are not dietitians. So chances are they're people who have either just done this program or they took a 1-hour nutrition certification. Not good. Problem number four, it's crazy expensive. Their programs are anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. Use that money and put it towards actually good, nutritious food that you have at home. So there's seemingly been a resurgence in people's interest in Optavia, that diet, or Optiva, whatever. Someone last time was like, you said it wrong. Doesn't matter. The point is, people are still convinced that this is going to work. So let me say this. Yeah, you're right. It is going to work at first because the first plan that they put you on is about 800 to 1,000 calories. Of course, you're going to lose weight, but what is also going to happen? Your muscle mass is going to drop significantly. Your metabolism is going to adapt. And so you're going to see weight in terms of scale weight loss, but a lot of that is going to be muscle. And then they sort of like wean you up to higher calories, but the highest that I found that those higher calorie meal plans go is about 1,600, which is still not going to be enough for a good majority of people. And so then what's going to happen as you wean off of the program entirely is your body's going to be desperate to restore that lean mass, muscle, and metabolism that all tanked from doing this earlier, and you're going to see a slow increase in weight. Now, I know that that is discouraging to hear, but I am telling you this because don't fall for the gimmick of you're going to lose weight quickly and then we'll make sure it doesn't happen. There's actually no long-term studies into Optavia at all. And one of the only studies that's been published about Optavia has been funded by Medifast. So there's not even really good research into the program as a whole. Remember, the only thing that is going to be successful long-term is slow, sustainable weight loss. Consistency with keeping your calories in a mild calorie deficit, only about 200-300 calorie deficit. Consistency with whatever movement you can do with your body. Don't fall for these quick weight loss traps. Let's go over the faster way to fat loss program. So, what I'm noticing about all of these programs is they're all like the same type thing. They're just touted by someone else who's trying to make money off of it. But so this, as you can see, they use primarily carb cycling and intermittent fasting. And they give you like a meal plan that you can follow. They say you don't really have to follow that meal plan, but they give you macros and all these things and then a workout routine with it. And they just have a lot of problems with how they're going about this, right? They're basically implying that they have this new way to get your body to burn fat when really all they're doing is decreasing your intake and increasing your exercise. One of the biggest things that bothers me is this little thing here. It says, teach your body to burn fat instead of carbs. That's not a thing. Your body's always going to burn fat. There's no such thing as your body not utilizing fat as a source of fuel. What I was taught and how I think it's the best analogy, this is back in like biochemistry, is your carb utilization, we'll say is this hand, and your fat utilization are like two cars going down a road at the same time, occasionally pulling ahead of one or the other, right? So when you've just eaten, your body is primarily breaking down some carbohydrates. And then when it's kind of gone through that, fat pulls ahead and your body's breaking down fat. But there's no such thing as your body never using fat. And then of course, if you're way under eating, your body's going to start chipping away at muscle. But even still, it doesn't mean that it's not using fat. It just is also breaking down muscle. So that's just really negative. Now, what I also like to do with these programs is look through the FAQs. So one of the questions in the FAQs is, can I drink alcohol? And the answer is no, but you might be able to drink alcohol only on leg days. And then in parentheses, they put as a treat, which I hate that language because when we start talking about like, oh, this is treat, this is good, this is bad, that's what brings in all of that guilt and shame around food and puts people on this cycle of binging and restricting because they're like, oh, I'm just going to cheat today. So that language is really, really negative. And then of course they go on and there's lots of questions about like, what is carb cycling? What is intermittent fasting? And I've shared lots of research on that. Intermittent fasting is not going to make you lose weight faster. All it does is decrease your intake. There's actually some research to show that intermittent fasting causes you to break down more muscle than you would have. One of the other FAQs that stood out to me was, what if I get dizzy? And they're like, oh, talk to your health coach. So again, don't fall for programs like this. They're just trying to pitch this as their great idea that's going to work, when really they're just decreasing your intake and increasing your exercise, arguably too much to the point where you might be dizzy. Okay, let's finally talk about this stuff that's been going everywhere and everyone's taking a spoonful of it and saying that they lost all this weight. So I looked into it and I went to the website, and basically the website is trust me, bro, right? So it's like the proof is in the pudding, and they show all these pictures, but there's no actual science or evidence behind it. They keep saying it's science backed, but then there's no links to any good research. I could not find one good randomized control trial on why this stuff works, right? So then I looked at the back of the bottle based on some pictures I found. And basically what it is there's conjugated linoleic acid in it, or CLA. And they're claiming that CLA has been clinically shown to decrease body fat when used as a part of a healthy diet or exercise program. Don't forget that second part, right? So then I looked into the research into just CLA, and again, results are inconclusive. Basically, it says that the human studies on CLA are very unreliable and the overall effects are pretty contradicting. So don't fall for it. This is just another MLM.